Hi guys, those of you who are in my channel and those who might not know me, my name is Anton. This particular channel is to discuss a lot of things such as personal views, education, politics, and whatnot. So today I thought of it and I just decided, you know what, I would like to share a little bit on studying overseas because I spent about 8 years of my life in Australia studying overseas after my high school. After graduating from Form 5, got my SPM results. The SPM results were satisfactory. It's not the best, satisfactory. A bit of money and support from my parents. I had the luxury to travel outside and study abroad, and of course I have family there as well. So things like accommodation is covered, things like food is covered pretty much. So pretty lucky, yeah. Um, so I think for any Malaysian, any Sarakian who are not exposed to the outside life, because if you spend 20 years or 17 years, 18 years before you went into uni in Malaysia and you mix around people that are in Malaysia, there's no way for you to truly understand why and how the culture in a foreign country is so different, okay, to the point where you don't really know where you're going. Some of the students are lost. I've spoken to many of them, and this is kind of like for me to share. The point of video is for me to share a bit of this of my ideas on how you as a student, as a fresh student, you have no experience at all, you do not know what to do, and you decide to pursue your studies, um, assuming that you're going to like things like medicine, engineering, architecture, interior design, construction management. Okay, Australia is a great place. So let me share a few things. So I study in Taylor's in Melbourne. It doesn't exist anymore. It's not there anymore. It's gone. I don't know what happened to it. Probably the business didn't really do so well. But during my time in Taylor's, there were a lot of a huge mix of students from Vietnam, from there's no Filipinos, very little. There are Vietnam, China, Chinese, a lot of Malaysians, a lot of Sarakians. Um, so it's extremely multicultural, and of course you have the Middle Eastern Europeans, some Americans. I'm surprised they are there as well. Some, not a lot. Um, so it's a very extremely mixed institution, Taylor's College in Melbourne. Okay, not Taylor's College KL, Taylor's College in Melbourne. Extremely multicultural. There's a lot of mix, and most of the time when I was there, I kind of like adapted in a way that took time, right? So I had no friends. I do not know anyone. I do not know what these guys are doing here. I don't know. I don't know whether they're actually coming here to pursue a career. I do not know. But for me, I was very clear. I wanted to pursue a university degree. I did not know what degree I was going to do, but this is at least a 2 year pathway for me to be able to graduate, to be able to go into a university and graduate and finally get a job, etc., etc. Okay, so being in an institution like Taylor's College, you're pretty much lost as a Malaysian student. Right? I can guarantee you that, especially if you're not an extrovert. You don't like people. You don't like to talk to people. You don't like to mix around with people. This is one of those um, places where you're not going to strive at all, okay, if you don't put yourself out there. Okay, now for maybe the first 6 months of my life in Taylor's, I got to know a few of my friends who are who I don't speak to anymore for obvious reasons that we kind of lost contact. And these guys, they don't really have social media. and they decide not to pursue anything on the social platforms. So there's no way for me to contact them anymore, right? So as I get to mix around, the basic activities like going for lunch together, it gets natural because when you're in a classroom, you have to talk. You're forced to talk. You cannot just sit down quietly. In a typical Malaysian school setting, there's no way for you to just sit down and do nothing. You are forced to talk. You're forced to go into projects, so you have to communicate. Now, I don't really have bad anxiety as a kid. I had to, I in a way, it's not like I like people. It's just that there's no way for me around. Like that's kind of like the only way for me to go. So naturally, you will mix around with very easily speaking. They're not the most fluent in English. I come from an English speaking family, so for me it's very easy to to kind of like mix around. Okay, so you kind of had to guide your way through. So kind of made friends with two two guys in tailors. One is a Middle Eastern guy, and the other one is a Chinese guy. So stay in Faisal, and yeah, we pretty much eat McDonald's on a daily basis. Probably wasn't the best thing to do back in the time, but uh, McDonald's compared to the other dishes were uh, somewhat cheaper. So because as a student, you kind of have find ways to budget, right? Even if you have the financial support, but it's a fixed financial support. It's not just going on berserk. Eating at five-star restaurants, you have to find ways to budget. So during that time, I don't know about now, but Big Mac during that time you can get about $8, $9. This is around 2009, 2008. Okay, right now it's probably in $15 or $20 range. I do not know. And I haven't been to Australia for a very long time. Okay, so you know that's pretty much our daily activity in Melbourne. Go to McDonald's and then we kind of talk about random stuff, right? Um, Besides making friends, and naturally it will go from there, right? You don't have to worry about because for me, I'm not the kind of person who likes to have too many friends. I don't like it. I don't like when people talk crap. I don't mix around and gossip. That's not me. I don't mix around talking about hey this guy. No, that's not me. I'm a very I'm a very straightforward person. If I like you, you will know. If I don't care about you, if I don't give shit about you, you will know as well. And yeah, even to this day, I'm still the same. Okay, fundamentally nothing has really changed. All right. Um, yeah. Besides making friends, then you're kind of like the next thing for you to kind of like adapt to the culture is um, to go on these few activities. So in Melbourne CBD, which is stands for the Central Business District, is they have a lot of activities, and the two primary activities that I was involved in was more on playing pool, okay, or snooker, pool, okay, and the second thing is actually cyber cafes, okay. Why? Partly because it's the most um, fun, I would say, um, and also the cheapest activity besides, the indoor rock climbings, or what the shopping. Look, like honestly, if I'm not buying clothes or buying food, I'm not shopping on a regular basis. It's kind of like once or twice a year kind of thing, and Boxing Day sales are pretty much where it's very cheap. Okay, so that's where I spend most of my time, right? Playing pool and cyber cafes. And during that time, League of Legends, the game League of Legends was the thing of that time. because Dota 2 didn't exist during that time yet, and was still working its way there. But when League of Legends came, it was the thing of this, I guess, the thing of the century, honestly, for during our lifetime. Okay, so I can tell you this: almost on every Friday night, there was a after uni, and after we have our dinner with friends. So I had friends from Sarawak, right? Friends that I naturally meet. So friends that you generally will mix around with, and you find out that, hey, you know, you want to play this game. You say, yeah, why not? Because we're all nerds, right? We're all nerds in school. As an Asian student, you can't get away from computer games, anything that is, you know, in front of the screen, right? There's no way getting out of it. So when you share these things, you naturally you will um, you have this routine. Okay, you have this routine where you want to spend time doing something fun, because other things don't really interest you, right? Because I'm kind of like mixed around people that are not into like the, I guess you say, the normal things, right? The shopping and all the camping. We don't do this stuff. We spend, I think we spend few $1,000. Um, I don't know, maybe every 3 months or so, but we spend a good amount of money on cyber cafes playing League of Legends from 6 evening all the way to 3 4 in the morning. We will spend all that time doing that. Okay, um, and that is because we just thought it was fun, you know. And we'll order takeaways. We'll order McDonald's. And in the cyber cafes, if for those who know Melbourne, for those who has lived in Melbourne, for those who experience it, uh, if you know if you know if you know Russell Street, you would know this particular cyber cafe. I'm not sure if it's still there. I have to look it up where exactly it is. Um, but yeah, they sold instant noodles, which we don't order instant noodles. We normally have our dinner, or we order takeaway outside, or we go on a break after like 10 games straight. Okay, so each game lasts about 45 minutes to 1 hour. Okay, so you can imagine how many hours we expect. After 10 straight games, we'll go out. Okay, we'll go out, we'll find dinner, and after that we'll come back. Probably spend another maybe 5 games, which equates to about 5 hours maybe. Um, yeah, and then after that we'll call it a day. And by the time that's done, it's already 4 5 in the morning. I'll be taking the first train back home, because obviously I live quite far from the city. Um, then I'll be walking home, because that was before I had my driving license. So I'll be averaging about, 10k 20k steps a day, almost every day. Because and that is when, even though I was eating a lot back then, I was pretty fit. Okay, I was pretty lean, not lean, but just not fat as of now. Because I was averaging 10k to 20k steps every time. So that was one of the activities that is on a weekly basis for close to, let's say, 6 to 7 years. That was all we were doing. Okay. So activities. Then I think as a fresh student, as a Malaysian student, eventually you end up going clubbing. Okay. During that time, I don't know about now. I can only tell you what happened during that time, because a lot of things have changed. Society has changed. Gen Zs nowadays, I believe, I don't think they go to clubs. Honestly, they don't drink. They have most of the social life is in front of the screen. Okay, it's in Discord, it's in OnlyFans. That's where it was. I still remember when OnlyFans was just a video streaming platform. It was kind of like a YouTube alternative. Okay, and it's just random videos. There was no pornography during that time. until the surge of all this new generation of species going in there and doing pornography, then everything just changed, right? So I was talking about OnlyFans when it was first launched. Within the first year, it was completely new. It was nothing. No one knew about it until that trend started to climb up. So um, about the clubbing life, I think my friends and I was you, we do buy drinks in there, but they were extremely expensive. We have friends who are promoters, so for us to like go into the clubs was easy, yeah. And we had like a discount. I don't know what the discount was, or we have free tickets for events, and we go there almost on a weekly basis as well. Um, every every Friday, every Saturday, sometimes every Thursday as well. Okay, so that is that. Uh, we do that because for obvious reasons we're trying to you know get chicks, right? That was the thing during that time. And what more better way to go to a place where I guess people are open-minded, right? So they're open-minded, so in a way. But success and failures here and there. But well, the interactions and the things that we learn in terms of personal self-development, I think I will make a video about personal development, like as a man, as a person as well, and also as an introvert, to kind of open up your doors a little bit. I will share that next time in a separate video. Probably won't do it now. It's just a gist of a few activities that you can do as a student. Okay. Yeah. And I think the other thing, as a student, yeah, my experience as a student coming to Melbourne um, is how you're treated also, I believe, from the orang putih lah. During that time, I do not know now. Okay, during that time, I can assure you, there are hints of racism amongst the tutors, amongst Australians in general. There were hints of racism, and there are also extremities of racism because I experienced it myself. Um, it's just the way the teachers talk to you, and not all. I would say about, okay, honestly, I would say about 50-50 lah, because we had 8 subjects. I would say like 4 out of 8 of those teachers are actually decent. They're actually quite polite and they're very nice, and the other 4 is fucked up. And partly because I believe the Asian students were the top performers, me included, in the school. Okay, we were the top performers. I can tell you, even the local students couldn't beat us in all subjects across science, biology, physics. It's called additional mathematics during that time. I think it's advanced mathematics. I can't remember the exact term, but it's a mathematics. And then you have the general math, which is the shittier math, the more boring ones. What else? I think there's like political studies. I'm not very sure of those, but we had 8 subjects. I can't remember the other 3. Oh yeah, because I'm Asian, because I'm from Malaysia, I had to do English as a second language. I couldn't go into the first language, right? So there's ESL, which is English for as a second language, and then there's English, right? But I still remember that the teachers did tell me that I'm actually eligible to be English, but for some reason, because I'm Malaysian, I have to follow the course, right? They only allow you to be in the English as a second language, right? What I mean by hints of racism is sometimes they raise their voice without reason. Um, Maybe because they think we're good, so they want us to be better. Okay, so maybe it's just a teacher thing. But not only that, I think some of the conversations that I have with the Aussie students, the orang putih, is like the way they talk to you is as if you don't understand sarcasm. See, so because most of the time they'll say blah blah blah, and then they'll say, oh yeah, I'm just joking. I say, yeah, I know you're just joking. It's just that I didn't say anything because I just don't find it funny. That's all. You see, so um, and even maybe yeah, one of the things that actually happened to me in Melbourne was I was on the way home from uni. It was noontime. Yeah, it was noontime. So on the way home in a train. So I was sitting down. Oh, sorry, I was standing up. I had my earphones on, so because I was listening to music. Because back then, um, wireless, Bluetooth wireless headphones wasn't a thing. It wasn't in the market at all. Everything was still wired. See, so so I live in very interesting times. And stood up, I was standing up, and I was listening to Trivium because I really like heavy metal. I was listening to Trivium, and then I remember this guy. He was doing this. He was doing this. I was looking at him saying, I was doing this because essentially he's asking me to take off my earphones for some weird reason. Okay, he's a short guy. I still remember how he looks. He's a short guy. Um, he has his hair slicked back. Um, and he was just looking at me the whole time. I was in the train for half an hour. The whole time he was doing that, I was just ignoring him. I didn't care who he was. So, and then he was in front of me, like literally about maybe an arm's length, and he was talking, and he was like, I was like, what the hell was he doing? I was like, I didn't care. I just looked outside. I didn't care. I didn't care what was going on, right? And 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 my stop was about to arrive. Okay, my stop was about to arrive. I was about to get out the train, and he stood in front of me. He was like, I took it out. I was like, what the fuck you listening at, bro? Why are you looking? You a fucking Malaysian, mate. You fucking. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, whoa, what the hell did I do? I didn't do anything. And this guy out of nowhere, he was in suit and everything, and he was like blocking, and he literally like pushed me a little bit, but he didn't know. I actually go to the gym. Okay, I was deadlifting 190 kilos during that time, and I was a much heavier body weight. I literally pushed him out on the train. I pushed him out and he fell. You see, I didn't know. That was the weirdest thing that happened with no context at all. I didn't do anything wrong, and this guy just came out and said, "Whatever, you're a fucking girl, mate. You're a fucking girl, mate." I said, "What the hell?" I said, "Bro, what the hell?" Because I was, but you know, like I was ready to break his neck, but so I pushed him out of the train. I didn't know what happened. I just walked out. And I still remember that lady, the, the lady who was inside there. She was doing this to me because I fought. Because I'm not gonna let anyone tell me what to do just because you're a racist piece of fucking shit. There's no way I'm not gonna let that pass by me. So I had to ensure that he get what he's deserved. So yes, you get somewhere somehow you will get it. As an Asian student, as a Malaysian student, you will get it. There's no hiding away from it, I believe. And I got it for that was probably the one of the worst ones that I got, besides other things. And yeah, so those are. I think this video is running a bit too long, but yeah, those are some of my experiences. And as a student, as a Malaysian student going to Melbourne, studying in Melbourne, you're gonna have hard time finding friends, but eventually you will. Some of the activities, um, clubbing, and um, and a bit of racism. So not a bit, actually, quite a lot. I even have friends who told me that this racism thing just got out of hand. Even it go as far as how how the waitresses treat you in the restaurants. You know, they are experienced, but I won't tell it in this video. I'm just gonna. So that is that. So I really hope I can share a few things from my experiences. This is all that happened to me in the past. Is all this has happened to me. So I just hope that you know, if you're as a student, you don't know what it's like. That's how it's like, um, as a Malaysian student. Okay, so I really hope it's helpful, and subscribe, because I'll be sharing a lot of things that I've experienced as a Malaysian, as a Sarawakian, um, to personally develop yourself. Okay, to personally develop yourself. A lot of tips and tricks, how to get employers attention, how to get a job. I can share a little bit of that because I did do it in the Melbourne Council, as an engineer, as a junior engineer, because I study engineering. So we had to get a few of those work experiences to be able to graduate fully. Okay, so subscribe, guys, hopefully, and see you in the next video.